Let's speak to someone who has probably fond memories of the competition because Denmark in 1992 went the whole way and won the whole thing. It's the former Manchester United and Denmark goalkeeper Casper Schmeichel who joins us live right now. Great to speak to you, Peter. Thank you so much. I'm sure that, some of the memories of that tournament are still so vivid in your head. We'll come to that a bit later on. But let's start off with talking about the new hearing loss campaign that you're supporting. What can you tell us about it?
Well, I was born with some hearing loss, not hearing loss because I've never had it, but certain frequencies I've never been able to hear. And at some point I'm thinking I'm going to have this tested out. And the doctor that tested me out said, well, you are fastly on your way towards hearing aid. And what he explained to me was that you only have that hearing that you are born with. You can never improve on your hearing. And when you lose hearing, you never gain it again. There's nothing you can do. You can do something about your eyes, but you can't do anything about your hearing. And of course, you have to protect whatever hearing you have. And hearing aids are really helping with that. So realizing that was a little bit of a shock, I have to say that. And straight away I'm thinking about, what is a signal with hearing aids? Is that, oh, you're getting old or there's something wrong with you? And there's a lot of stigma around that. If I had something wrong with my ears, I would go and get a pair of glasses straight away. But hearing aids, well, it was a difficult one. But it took me about 2 years to get it done, and I have it done now. And it's helped me enormously. And what I'm realizing now, obviously taking part in this campaign, and my aim is, of course, to get people to go and have that hearing test done. At Booth Hearing Care, people over 50 can have it done for free. Just get it done, because it is really changing your social life, your well-being. I mean, losing your hearing, can lead to mental health problems. You can feel isolated. There's a lot of things that not hearing what's happening around you can sort of cause not so great things. So I had it done. It took me 2 years, but the crazy stat I realized when starting to work on this campaign is that the average time is 10 years for people to actually go and have that hearing test done. And that is so my message is that, cut down on the 10 years, go and have it done, because it will change your life.
You know what, it's a really good message, and actually it's one that chimes particularly with me. My father-in-law has had hearing issues, my mum too, and it's funny just the difference in attitude sometimes between actually going and get it checked out or not, as it may be, and just delaying, and it is something that can cut someone off. I think you can feel, as you say, isolated. So I definitely hear what you're saying.
Has always been in gatherings where there are a lot of people and there's a lot of background noise. Then if I'm speaking to somebody who sat directly across from me, I would have to lip read in order to hear what the person is saying. I just simply cannot hear it. So the frequencies that I don't hear are precisely that. It disappears in all that background noise, and so I'm quite new now. I'm about 2 months in, and what you do when you get your hearing aids is you go through 3 to 6 sort of adjustments where you come in and they are sort of tailor-made to your needs. You wear them a little bit, then you come in and say, this is an issue, this is that. And I've had 2 adjustments so far, and it's getting better and better. So, again, if you feel that you're not hearing, if your wife is, or your spouse or anyone is saying, you keep asking me to repeat things, go and get it done, because it is going to make a big difference.
Yeah, and also, it's a big part of sport, listening to an atmosphere, hearing the roar of the crowd. You want to try and enjoy that to its best of its moment, of its ability. Let's talk about the Euros, because we've heard the Scotland fans making a lot of noise ahead of the game against Germany tonight. They're out in force, 200,000 of them there, and of course you have your real memories of this tournament, don't you, Peter? And 1992. Just give us one moment from that tournament that really sticks with you, as Denmark, against all odds, went and won the whole thing.
It was when the referee ended the game in the final. That was the best moment, because in the final we played the world champions Germany, and we'd had so many injury issues running up to that game, and to get through the game and win it was just fantastic. So when it was finally done, that was just an unbelievable moment. But I have to say, I played in 4 Euros. Euros are for me, they are the best tournaments because of the quality of the European nations. And I'm obviously looking at the quality of the players that's going to take part in these championships. I don't think it's ever been better. It's never been more exciting to we got tomorrow. That's just an example. We got a game, Italy Albania, for instance. When you think, Italy, they are the defending champions, they're just going to run over Albania and win easy. But no, Albania is a really, really good team with really good players and a great coach, and they've been fantastic through qualification. And you've got all these new nations popping up with really high quality, not pop them up in the highest level of football, but quality players, quality coaches. And it's just, it just the level, the quality is just incredible. And I can't wait. I mean, obviously, we're going to see the first rounds of football here in the coming days to see how the teams are performing. But, you start doing your research for this and you find out that there's a lot of nations in there that think they can do well, and more than usual nations that think they can win it.
Yeah, I mean, look, looking at that, obviously looking at England and France particularly, but people are making a case for Germany, especially because they're at home. Italy, defending champions, as you mentioned. Then you've got Spain and you've got other ones as well who are in the mix. But what about England? What are their chances of bringing home the trophy?
I'm just saying, it's funny you don't mention Portugal, because Portugal is they are for me I would say they look to be the best team. They have the best defense, the best midfield. They've got the best strikers. They've got Ronaldo, for instance, 39 years of age. People have been saying for years that he's finished, that he's not good enough. And every time that comes up, he pops up and scores goals. He scored 2 goals the other day. He is incredible, and he wants to win, and you can just see in that team, and obviously with Roberto Martinez as a coach there, that they are in a really, really good place. And I mean, I won't single them out as the absolute favourites, because as you said, you got other nations. England, a fantastic team. Germany, we see them tonight. When you look at the names, it's a really, really good team they have. Of course, you've got France in there. Mbappe, maybe we don't know. I think he needs to play for France to have a chance. At the moment, it looks like he's a little bit injured. You got Spain, you got Italy, the defending champions. You still got Croatia in there. Croatia normally do really well in these tournaments. And then, of course, you got my nation, Denmark, which we think we can do something here. We're not saying that we can win it, but we will be looking at the quarterfinals as our first sort of target. So there are nations in there who will claim that they are in a good position to win it. And of course, England's one of them. England's got possibly the strongest forward going group of players, and possibly one of the biggest stars of these Euros in Bellingham. And of course, they've got a chance. I saw before, you had Jordan Pickford on, and for him, this is going to be a massive Euro, because as strong as you are going forward, I think there are vulnerabilities at the back. Not because the players are not good enough, but the lack of numbers at the back could be a challenge for England. So we don't know until we see England against Serbia how well your nation is performing. But from the outset, yes, it looks all good, but it looks good for a lot of nations.
It really does, doesn't it? What about some of the Manchester United players involved, and in particular, when you're thinking about maybe protection for that back four, which might be a little bit makeshift, Kobbie Mainoo? I mean, he's had a spectacular rise at Old Trafford this season. Do you think he should be starting for England at this tournament, Peter?
I think it's a difficult one. It's a lot of responsibility. But if you think about how England's going to line up, so the player that's going to play next to Declan Rice is going to have a massive responsibility, because the team and the players will naturally try to go forward. question is this too much responsibility on his young shoulders? I mean, he's done really well. I mean, he's been absolutely outstanding for Manchester United, but there's also been games where you can see that he's only, what is he now? He's just turned 19, yeah? So you can see that in certain games that he's still a young player, and you know, I think the way you bring players into a team is you play them a lot, but you also take them out and give them a little bit of a rest, and you sort of there's a way of doing it, and you don't necessarily throw somebody in and play like he did so many games, but out of need that had to happen. What I don't like about that is that if the player feels that it's not going well, you know, there are no experience to draw on. We know in football it's going up and down, and you know from 1 minute to the next everything can change. But if you kind of feel it's not going well and you don't have that experience, then the next moment is probably not going to go well for you. It might just be a tiny bit too early for him to be a starter, but he's absolutely somebody who can come on the pitch and help the team either if they're struggling either to produce chances or score goals himself, or to protect the back four, protect the lead. So I mean, he's a great player. There's no doubt about that. But for me, a little bit too early to be a starter for England.
But we know obviously that Marcus Rashford isn't involved in this tournament, but one man who should be, given that he's on his way back from injury, is Luke Shaw. I mean, you've been in this situation before, I'm sure, with key players who've been injured just before a tournament. How do you think England should manage that, especially given the order of the games and who they play when?
Yeah, I mean, don't forget when you ask me this that I'm from Denmark, you know? So in a way, I don't really care. I care about Luke Shaw because he's a Manchester United player, and I want to see Luke Shaw play for Manchester United when the season starts. It's been a terrible season for him, all the injuries and, you know, the setbacks, and, you know, he suffered that broken leg back in the day, and he's come back so good. He's been unbelievable, and possibly be one of the best performers when he's played for Manchester United over the last couple of years. So that is my concern. You know, Luke hasn't played at all in you know, since, I don't know, 6 months. He's not played, and that's in itself is difficult. And then, of course, when you look at, you know, who's been picked for England, there are no left-footed left-backs in there. So Gareth might be tempted to play him now. Is that going to be good for Luke in Manchester United? I don't know. Probably Luke will think it's brilliant. But I want him to be in that team next year. We need players like him and his experience, and so hopefully he's going to be eased in if he's going to be used, and hopefully Luke Shaw will come through these European Championships with no injuries, and actually in good shape as well. So let's wait and see.
And I've got to ask you a little bit about Rasmus Højlund, obviously with the, you know, Manchester United hat on, whether you think that he can cause England problems. Is he the main threat, especially with England looking a little bit weak in that back four?
No, Rasmus Højlund is a fantastic talent. Still the team of still a Manchester United. They're not playing up to his strengths. A lot of what he's got to do, he's got to come up with you know, create the chances himself. And we've seen that throughout the course of the season. I think he's had a really good first season with Manchester United. But it came in a little bit injured. That was a little bit of an injury scare halfway through. But he's done very, very well. And I really like his style of play. I like his attitude. I like how his positivity, how he looks after his teammates, how he just is he's just a really great talent. Now, of course, he is even more important for us when it comes to the Euros, because we don't have that many goal scorers, and I mean, in qualification, he was our goal scorer. He wasn't in the World Cup squad. He came in the first squad after that, and you know, of course, we didn't know too much about him, but after the first game, you know, he scored 2 goals. We all knew about him. And he's going to cause all teams problems. Every team that we're going to play against, he's going to cause some problems. And what we can see from the 2 games that we've played so far before these Euros against Norway and Sweden is that everyone have that respect for him. So they put more than one guy on him when they're defending. So he's creating spaces for other players as well, and he has got a little bit like Haaland, that patience. You know, we don't have to be in the game all the time. We don't have to have the ball. You just need that ball once in a while, and then that leads to a chance or leads to a goal. So we've got great expectations to what he can do for Denmark, and we just you're touching that game against between Denmark and England, but that's a second game. Let's see what happens in the first game. We play Slovenia, you play Serbia. And let's hope that both of us, we get 3 points out of those games. And then the second game becomes a tactical affair, because it's all about just getting through the group phase. And if you've already got 3 points in the bank, you're not going to take too many risks. And if you've got 3 points in the back, a draw in that game would be a really good result for both teams. So let's talk about that once we get to that bit of the tournament.
I've got to quickly ask you about Casper, your son, because he's now reached, a century of caps for Denmark. You must be incredibly proud of him. But how is he feeling ahead of the tournament? And the idea of coming up against some familiar faces, especially in that second group game, 5 p.m. for us on Thursday the 20th. I mean, is he relatively, I suppose, chilled with this scenario now? He's played in some pretty big games in his career, so I'm guessing this is something he can take in his stride.
Oh, Casper's been looking forward to this for months, absolutely for months. Casper's a very professional guy. He's done everything in his power to be in the best shape that he could be. He was in Team of the Year in Belgium. He came second in Player of the Year in Belgium. He's in absolute great form, and for him, this is it. He absolutely loves playing for Denmark. Like all the players, all the Danish players, they love it, absolutely love it. They can't wait to be together. And of course, the pinnacle of international football careers are always the championships. I played 4 years myself. I mean, some of them were good, some of them weren't so good, but I still got fond memories of that. And he's looking forward to it. As I say, he's in great shape, and you say familiar faces, yes, because not only England, but we qualified against Slovenia, so we know the team. He knows the team, and we also played Serbia within the last year, so he knows everyone he's going to play against from recent games. But there'll be some old friends in the England team that, for 90 minutes, they're not going to be so friendly.
Cannot wait for it. I mean, the tournament as a whole, but that game as well, the second group game. Let's see who comes out on top. Peter, absolute pleasure to speak to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You take care. Have a good day.